Did you know that Malcolm in the Middle is actually a sequel to Breaking Bad?
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. So at the end of Breaking Bad, Walter White actually fakes his death and he goes under the witness protection program. So he has to completely revamp his life. He has to change locations, change his family, and start a new career, and of course change his name, which is where Malcolm in the Middle begins.
That doesn't sound right.
You can't disprove it.
Actually, I can. In neither show, Malcolm in the Middle or Breaking Bad, are the two characters connected in any way. Plus, Malcolm in the Middle is owned by Fox and Breaking Bad is owned by AMC, which kind of just further debunks your alternative fact.
Alternative fact, but man, I thought the Reddit post was true.
You see, that's the point. Olivia Nuzzi of New York Magazine quoted Kellyanne Conway as saying that alternative facts are additional facts with alternative information. Alternative facts lead to clickbait. Clickbait leads to dumbing down our society, which puts money in some undeserving pockets. Clickbait is an eye-catching link on a website which encourages people to read on. It is often paid for by the advertiser or generates income based on the number of clicks. World-renowned columnist TMZ World Star wrote an article on viralspeech.com with no publication date titled "Mexico agrees to pay for the wall only if US returns Texas to Mexico." These types of stories only lead to not believing the national news media and calling everything we see fake news. For more information, I spoke to Meg Smith, the mass communications advisor here at Cowley, on why fake news is impacting our society.
I think we've always had fake news. The difference is now we have such good technology, we have so much access that now we can actually verify and we know that it's fake news pretty darn quick. Unfortunately, the side effect from that tends to be that now we don't trust any news. All news starts to become fake news.
The dangerous combination of clickbait and alternative facts ends up harming more than it does helping. On February 14th of this year, the Wall Street Journal said that they brought 9 clips of YouTube celebrity PewDiePie, also known as Felix Schellberg, to Disney, who owns a company called Maker Studios, which is a company that pays YouTubers like Schellberg to create content. Disney responded by cutting ties with PewDiePie because the 9 clips apparently presented anti-Semitic views and were too inappropriate for Disney to continue working with them. The Wall Street Journal continued to write a second article stating that it's doubtful that a marketer will want to work with him, PewDiePie, anytime soon. They also went on and talked about how YouTubers are never going to be held up to a professional standard, much like professional Hollywood actors. After these 2 initial articles, the Wall Street Journal proceeded to make a video exploiting every anti-Semitic joke PewDiePie has made, using it as evidence to say that he is in fact a neo-Nazi and a symbol of hate. The fake news portion is right here. So in that video clip, they used this image as evidence to convey that PewDiePie is a neo-Nazi. The problem is this image is taken from a video called "Stop Doing This." In the video, Felix talks about how he doesn't want people making swastikas in his game. The Wall Street Journal took clips out of context to make him look like a neo-Nazi, when in reality, that's not what happened at all. However, the impacts were more devastating than you would think. PewDiePie not only had his ties cut with Disney, but he also had his YouTube Red series, Scare PewDiePie, a show that hundreds of people worked on, canceled. As you can see, the Wall Street Journal was just looking for a few extra clicks, but they were willing to go as far as to put someone else's career at risk just to do so.
So, what's a good way of making sure you get your news from a reputable source?
So, in this instance, PewDiePie actually made a very long response to everything that had been happening. So, if you ever see negative coverage on a celebrity, check out their social media, because they might provide more clarification on what actually happened.
You can also look at local sources compared to corporate sources. I saw an article about a Kansas City shooting that took place in February. I wanted to cross-examine this article with other articles about this same shooting that were on Fox, CNN, KMBC, and a fake news site called the Hindustan Times. The summary of the situation from KMBC, or the local source: Adam Purinton, 51, is accused of opening fire and fatally shooting Srinivas Kuchibolta and 2 other men at Austin's Bar and Grill at 7:15 p.m. in the 2100 block of East 151st Street. The restaurant was full of customers at the time of the shooting. Purinton was charged with 1 count of premeditated murder and 2 counts of attempted premeditated murder. At the moment, they aren't sure if this is a hate crime or not.
Out of the 4 reportings we looked at, KMBC was by far the most accurate by giving specific addresses and specific times of when this incident actually occurred. Whenever we broadened the searches and looked at CNN and Fox, they just kind of regurgitated what KMBC said while leaving out some details. The fake news comes in with the Hindustan Times. Interestingly enough, it just starts at their headline. Hate crimes in the U.S. are rising since Trump assumed office. Hate crimes in the U.S. are rising. Now, Tavin just said that the KMBC article reported that the FBI agent, Eric Jackson, was unable to conclude whether or not it was a hate crime or not. But the Hindustan Times just leaves that part out. The second part, since Trump assumed office. Now, the KMBC article says nothing about Donald Trump or him having anything to do with this shooting, not to mention that CNN and Fox, 2 news outlets that love to use Trump's name, say nothing about Trump in this article either. So we can see that the Hindustan Times was using this shooting for fake evidence to support the anti-Trump movement.
In most cases, the farther away a news source is from the scene, the less honesty that source can hold.
Unfortunately, we can't get rid of fake news, but we can reduce the consumption and the spread of false information by following a few of these steps. For starters, be sure to look out for clickbaity titles. Remember that these articles are more interested in your money than they are in telling a compelling story. Next, if you read an article about a situation that happened, be sure to read other news outlets' perspectives as well. And if there's a news article written about a specific celebrity, be sure to look at their personal social media to see how they reacted to the situation. That way, they can provide more clarification on what happened.
And last but not least, go local. Local reporters don't get paid to have clickbaity titles or for ads. They're paid to do good reporting, give a quality story, and not worry about the quantity of the clicks.
So does this mean that Walter White and Hal Wickerson aren't the same person?
That's right.
Man. Well, that's all the time we have for today. I'm Carson Turner.
And I'm Tavin Wolford. Back to you guys.